Hey guys, gonna teach you how to spray today. Got all our masking set up and everything. We have another video on how to mask soffits. Got our sprayer all ready to go. All the paint's in the line. We also have another video on how to get your sprayer going and how to get that ready. So today basically super basic, just gonna go over and teach you how to spray a house. We've got a stucco wall here, like I said, everything's masked off. We've got our masking along the bottom to make sure we don't get any paint on the concrete, as well as on the soffits. As you can see, we've got some of the lights masked. Sometimes you can take the lights off, which helps kind of get right behind it, but sometimes the lights don't come off, so just make sure you wrap them with plastic. The big thing with lights is to make sure that if they are masked, that you do take the plastic off at the end of the day, because sometimes the light bulbs get really, really hot, and then they can actually start a fire, so you want to make sure that you take all the masking off of lights every day. Got our little spray shield here. Piece of cardboard works perfectly well. Big thing you want to use this for is, I know you have masking up there, but you want to make sure that you do kind of block in just in case it does get through. Same thing with when you get onto some corners. You want to make sure that you hold the masking or the spray shield on the corner just so it doesn't overspray. You can buy some spray shields at the paint store. They're 40 or 50 bucks. They're a little bit longer and they kind of help a little bit better, but sometimes if you happen to forget it or you have a piece of cardboard handy, you can use one of these as well. So big thing with spraying is you want to make sure that you keep the gun about 8 to 12 inches away from the wall, and you want to keep your wrist pretty well in the same position. You don't want to be kind of flashing your wrist this way, because then your paint's going to go on unevenly. You want to make sure that you're spraying in a nice even motion and spraying in a nice even pace as well. Jordan talked about in the other video about how pressure and how much pressure you need on the sprayer in order to make sure that it comes across and the paint comes out well. So we have our pressure loaded up. We're at about 1200 psi. And so now basically what we're going to do is I'm going to spray from top to bottom, and then I'm going to work my way across here. You want to make sure that you are going in even passes, and you want to make sure that you're overlapping a little bit just to make sure that the paint is covering everything and you're not missing anything. This stucco here is relatively smooth. Some stucco you're going to get is a lot thicker and has a lot deeper pores. If that's the case, you may need to spray once up and once down to get all the areas or to get all the surfaces. And in the next coat, you may want to spray left to right to get all the other surfaces as well. At the end, we're going to go over back rolling, which will help also kind of even out and make sure you get all the surfaces in the pores. But for now, we're going to start at the top here and work our way this way. So the big thing, like I mentioned here, is you want to make sure that you keep the gun, do you want to pan over there? You want to make sure you keep the gun a good 8 to 12 inches away from the wall. And you're going to go in a nice even fashion. So here, I'm going to start down at the bottom here. And you want to make sure that your hand is always moving when you're spraying. So I'm going to start here. And nice even pass. And then now, I'm a little short, so I need the step ladder. I'm going to get on my step ladder here. And make sure I'm kind of going in a nice even fashion again. So over there. Trying to make sure that we get down here at the bottom. And again, most times you kind of want to do the whole thing at once, but we do have the roller handy to back roll it once the whole thing is done. So I'm going to get it right down here. Make sure I I wish I was taller. This ladder. Now we got it all sprayed and covered. I'm going to take my roller, which usually will have a nice roller pull on it. I'm just going to roll over the whole thing just to even everything out. If you see there's some spots that are going to be a little thicker just with where the paint overlapped, and that's what the back rolling's for, is to even that all out. So you want to kind of make sure you roll everything pretty even. You don't want to miss spots because then those spots are going to be thicker than others. So you want to make sure that you just kind of roll over everything. Again, if you have a pole, it's a little bit easier. Grab my ladder again. And there we go. Now that wall is sprayed, there's one coat. Give it 3 or 4 hours to dry, and then you're good to go spray the other coat.